Hey everyone, let's get right into it. Have you ever had that feeling, you know the one, where it seems like people just walk all over you? You're always the one saying yes, always the one making the compromise, and you're just left feeling, well, disrespected. It's a really tough spot to be in. But here's the thing, it is totally fixable. Okay, let's dive in and figure out how to get your power back. So, here's how we're going to break it down today. We've got a six-part journey for you. We'll kick things off by really digging into the problem itself. Then we'll look inward before we move on to setting some new boundaries, learning the gentle art of saying no, dealing with those takers, and we'll wrap it all up with a challenge to make it all stick. All right, first up, let's really talk about that feeling. Because I want you to know this isn't just something you're imagining. It's a very real thing that, believe me, a ton of people deal with. So just take a second and be honest with yourself. At your job, with your friends, maybe even with your family, does this hit home? You know that feeling of being the go-to person for every single extra thing, but when you need something, crickets? Yeah, if you're nodding along right now, I want you to know you are so not alone. This is super common, but here's the most important part, and I really want you to hear this. It doesn't have to be this way forever. You can absolutely change this dynamic, and we're going to show you exactly how, step by step. Okay, so that leads us right into our next section, which is all about the internal work. And this is huge because, honestly, before you can expect anyone else to respect you, it has to start with you. Let's get into the first two ways to do this. And this right here, this is the bedrock of it all. Self-respect. Think about it. If you're always pushing your own needs, your time, your energy to the back burner just to please other people, you're basically sending out a signal that says, hey, my stuff isn't that important. And they'll believe you. This idea connects to a really cool psychological term, an internal locus of control. Fancy words, I know, but all it really means is taking ownership, realizing you have the right to set your own priorities, the right to say no without feeling guilty. And let me be clear, this is not selfish, it is essential. And what's amazing is, when you start acting like you respect yourself, you'll see other people start to follow your lead. It's kind of like magic. All right, the second big internal shift, this one is a game changer. It's all about finally shutting down that nagging little voice in your head, the one that whispers, you have to be nice, you have to be perfect, or they'll leave you. That voice, it's lying to you. It's a trap. Just look at the difference here. You're going from this place of fear, of feeling obligated, to a place of authentic choice. You're no longer forcing yourself to be agreeable. You're deciding, do I actually want to do this? And you know what happens? You start attracting people who like the real you, not the version of you that's putting on a show. All right, so we've laid the groundwork inside. Now, how do we take that and apply it to the outside world? That's what this next part is all about. Literally redrawing the lines in your social life and setting some new expectations. And man, this next point is so important. You have to learn the difference between being kind and just doing everything for them. Kindness is one thing, a smile, really listening, being there for someone. But that's a world away from becoming their personal, unpaid assistant, right? Always running their errands, doing favors that never, ever get returned. See, when you're genuinely kind, it feels good for everyone. It builds a real connection. Resentment stays low. But when it's just this constant one-way street of favors, well, that is a recipe for resentment. And not just for you. You become a resource, not a relationship. Okay, number 4. You have got to let go of this idea that you can please everyone. It's impossible. It's a total dead-end street. Chasing after every single person's approval, it will get you exactly nowhere when it comes to earning real, deep respect. The real power move is to be selective, to choose where you put your energy. And this quote just nails it. When you start saying no to the small, unimportant stuff, something amazing happens. Your yes suddenly means so much more. You transform from the person who does everything into a reliable leader, the person they can count on when it actually counts. That's where respect is built. Okay, now we get to one of the most powerful, practical tools you're going to have. We need to completely reframe the word no. Stop thinking of it as a confrontation. It's not. It's a skill of clarity, and it's one you can absolutely master. This is the whole mindset shift right here. Assertiveness is not rude. In fact, you could argue it's the most respectful thing you can do. You know what's actually disrespectful? Saying yes when you mean no and then being resentful about it. That's just confusing. A clear, calm no is honest. It's clarity. And look, here's a super simple 3-step formula you can use every single time. Step 1, acknowledge what they asked for, just so they know you heard them. Step 2, state your limit, simply and clearly. And step 3, this is the hardest part for most of us. Stop talking. No long-winded excuses, no apologies, just hold that boundary. All right, let's level up. We're moving into the advanced class now. What about those people, the takers, the ones who are just so used to you being the giver that it's all they expect? This part is all about how to flip that script. Okay, this next one is a huge mental block for a lot of us, especially if you're a people pleaser. You are not responsible for how other people feel. Let me say that again. When you set a perfectly reasonable boundary, their reaction, if they get upset or frustrated, that's on them, not you. You don't have to fix it. And that brings us to our 7th and final way. This one might feel a little weird at first, a bit counterintuitive. For the people who only take and never give back, the answer isn't to give more, it's to give less. You strategically pull back on all that extra effort you've been putting in. Let's look at how this actually works. In the old dynamic, you give too much, so you get taken for granted. Simple. But when you dial it back, when you stop doing all the extras, suddenly your value resets. They notice what's missing. That strategic withdrawal is what highlights the imbalance in the relationship, and it forces them to see you differently. That's how you start to rebuild respect. Whew, okay. We have covered a ton of ground, right? We've gone from the stuff happening inside your head all the way to practical external actions. But just knowing this stuff isn't enough. You have to do it. So let's wrap this up and get you ready for action. So here it is, your 7-step toolkit for getting your respect back. Think of this as your new playbook. Now look, this isn't a magic wand. It takes practice, it takes effort. But the change it can make in your life, your work, how you feel about yourself, it's huge. And you absolutely deserve it. And that brings us to your bonus challenge. Don't try to do all 7 things at once. Just pick one. Just one thing to focus on this week. Maybe it's just practicing that simple, gentle no. And as you go, ask yourself this question. What is my single biggest struggle when it comes to respect? Just identifying it, that's the first real step. You can do this.